Every year we have a special day, which is the first day of a term, of the fall term, representing the start of a new school year. I have been to 26 of them. This is the 27th first day of the school year I'm here. I remember one very special one. I think this one today is going to be the second most memorable first day of school. The one I remember most was in 1991, September the 6th, when Bodwell started in a very humble, small rental building in Vancouver in the Kitsilano area. And then we converted 2 floors of a kind of office building into a school, and we had our first 6 students and probably about 8 staff starting that day. I remember it was around 8 o'clock or something. I was still busy cleaning the floor and making sure that the entrance is clear. And of course, today I cannot compare with that day. See all these people here, this honorable guest here, see the new building here, and it makes me think that I'd like the students to see this. You know, you can always start with the first step. That when you start in the first step, it doesn't look great, but those are the most important days in your memory in the future. And try to keep that memory, and many years down the road, when you accomplish success, then you look back and you will value so much that moment. Well, we spent 12 years in Vancouver in that humble building and also a nearby building as our first dormitory for 33 students. And then we moved over here 14 years ago. And I must mention about our guest here, Mr. Craig Keating. I remember meeting him in the council meeting. I was pretty nervous, and I think Mayor was there too, right, during that time. So we went there to ask if we could use this piece of land and make it into a boarding school. We had to apply for rezoning, and we were very nervous because, you know, if they said no, we would have a lot of trouble. We couldn't really implement this change. And I'm really grateful for the council members, for the council at that time. We were very new here, and at that time, as an international school, it was not the most common operations in the city. However, I admire the vision of many of the council members and also many community people who went to the council meeting in support of our application. So we got our rezoning, and now this land, we could build a school here with residents living here. Actually, along this whole area, there wasn't any residents. We went back to the council many times. Once again, they approved our application to add more building and add more building. And until 3 years ago, we got the approval that we could change the building ratio of this piece of land so we can actually build a taller building here. Thank you very much, and please pass our gratitude to the council of the city. And together with them, of course, the pleasure to work with city planners, community services, fire department, police, and they are our backbone. They're supporting us. Whenever we have trouble, pick up the phone, they are here right away. And then we started to know about people here, friends here. We have lots of services. You know, KPH is all around the corner who service our building. We have Eminent Sign doing all our signage. We have a fitness center here that our students use. Of course, we have Thomas House that all our students enjoy their sweet thing. So Bodwell is here, and we anchor here, and we will be here for a long, long time. And that is on that basis, my partner, Doug Scott, the architect, we worked together about 16 years ago when this was a bare land. And then we visioned the future school. We tried to use our imagination the best we can because we had no idea how the building would be supporting our education. And then we just knew that we want to continue our boarding school tradition. So the top floor over there, where now the girls are living, they're all boarding places for 100 beds. So that was how we started. And later on, we kind of talked and we come up with the idea of extending a west wing over there, where actually a few years ago, the boys were occupying the third and fourth floor as their residence, and now they're all for girls. And then again, more recently, we come out with this idea of increasing our boarding capacity to 500 beds. So why are we doing this? Lots of people ask me about it. Paul, you want to grow a school, you want to grow a school. How many students you want that you'll be happy with? Actually, I like to clarify that really, growing the student population has never been an intention of building more floor areas. It is that we have been in search of a purpose, a characteristic, a meaning for this school. We'd like to create a kind of education that will really especially meet the needs of international students from around the world. Over 26 years, we found that students going to a very good school, however, without family support because their parents are not with them close by. And of course, we always arrange homestay families who are very helpful and caring, but still, students in this age, as a teenager, high school students, they need more support, they need more care and guidance. That's why we believe that international students need a more well-rounded protection, guidance, support, and nurturing environment for them to be benefiting from this international experience. So all the time, our expansion is really trying to make ourselves into a suitable environment for the nature of students we're trying to serve. Together with this, it is a vision for us that the students would every hour, every minutes of their time will be well spent, best spent. We don't want to, the parents are sending their children away to us. They trust us. They know that their child has only one 14-year-old and one 15-year-old, one 16-year-old. If this time is missed, their growth and development will be limited. So we like to make sure that their time here, away from the parent, away from the food and that they like, the friends they have, back in their own place, we need to make their staying here the most useful and productive and good for their development. Because of that, we have created a lot of features different from a typical school, a typical high school. For example, all new students arriving here must be boarding. So you have no choice but living here until such time you have proved yourself to be mature enough, your life skills are ready to be more independent, then you can apply to graduate from a boarding program and to move on to other alternatives such as homestay families. This actually allows the students to be coming together all the time. They interact, they learn from each other, they learn about students from other countries or area or district or continents. That's why we formed this new idea of 6 houses on the wall. Now, students, I'd like you to wake up a little bit. Can you help me to say out the name of the first house from the left? What is that? Number 1, 2, 3. Good. The second one, 1, 2, 3. The third one, 1, 2, 3. The fourth one. The fifth one. And the sixth one. Yes. We have these 6 houses and their corresponding. You are wonderful students. You have been sitting here for a long time already. Thank you for listening. And then these 6 houses correspond with our 11 halls. You know, we have boys and girls halls. And why are we doing this? Our experience shows that, students sometimes when they come here, they compete. Yeah? Everybody wants to compete. So sometimes the boys compete with the girls. Sometimes The Mexican students want to compete with Brazilian students. And we just find that the world has enough competition like that. In Bodwell, let's make it a different change. So we created these 6 nations, our 6 houses in Bodwell, and let's compete between them. You have a sense of belonging to each of these houses, and they can be girls and boys in each house. There are taller people, shorter people, there are older students, younger students, and there are students from Mexico, from Brazil, from China, from Japan, from anywhere in the world. That might sometimes we find history of conflict between certain countries or territories. And now in Bodwell, it is the United Nations, and we have 6 nations here, and you belong, and you might compete with each other this way. It's a new way of looking at things, and through that, we'd like you to develop friendship, interpersonal relationships, citizenship, and leadership. In the future days, you are going to face those challenges. You have to prepare yourself well for leadership, citizenship, social skills, life skills, self-care, etc. Now, we also added a very unique program called Saturday Enrichment. Sorry about it, I'm watching my time. We have Saturday Enrichment. Every Saturday morning, all our students attend classes which are not taught by typical teachers Monday to Friday, but they are people, professionals in the community. Some of them are engineers, some of them are musicians, some of them are athletes, and they come to classes Saturday morning to help students to connect to the real world and also to expand their imagination of future career options. And we have summarized at the end 6 L's, which are shown on the wall. Learn to excel in English, which most of our students need that. Liberate our academic mind. We need to open any possibility our imagination can allow. Live an active and healthy lifestyle. Lead for positive change. Look inward and forward. And lastly, love the earth and each other. We believe that this is not something we expect only the students to fulfill, but the whole community. Myself, every day, I think, at the end of the day, I reflect, have I done everything, all the 6 L's today? So I expect that this is going to be a community effort. Every one of us will be doing it. Now, if the parents are here, and many of our international recruitment partners are also here today, I'd like to thank them very much. They have trusted us so much that they put their child to our care, thousands of miles away from them. So how they found us, why they find Bodwell, and why we choose the students, because we also screen out a lot of other applications. We look for qualities, and I think parents will look for this kind of thing from Bodwell as well, that we are good developing young people's independence. We want them to be well-rounded, not only good in math or science, or only good in academics and only good in playing basketball. We want them to be well-rounded. We want them to be global-minded. They not only see a tiny little bit of their own area, they expand their mind to the globe. They appreciate diversity. They have no problem seeing people, meeting people, making friends with people who are different from them in color, in language, in culture. And they are all university bound. They want to pursue a university degree. They want to go further. They want to be useful to the society. Not necessarily Canada, but their home countries or the world, to the world. So this building is about that. This building is not just to grow and have more students. This building is to fulfill our vision of a truly 21st century international boarding school. And I have the partners working here, Doug and David, Nelson, and all the engineers, Brad and Scott. I can't finish the naming of all of them who have worked so hard in the last 2.5 years making this a reality. I'd like to thank the students and the staff who are so patient with the dust and noise and everything. And every time I ask them, is it okay, is it too noisy in your class? They said, don't worry, Paul, don't worry. We know it is necessary. We'll be soon getting over with it. And now today, the promise is delivered. Your patience is being paid off. Thank you very much, everybody. I have to go.